Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, and with the transfer window already closing in, it's been one hell of a summer. Here's our 11 of the best deals. Goalkeeper, Alisson. Loris Karius' high-profile mistakes in May's Champions League final and dodgy pre-season performances finally forced the previously loyal Klopp's hand. He had to sign a new keeper, and the club acted decisively, splurging a world record £66.8 million on Roma's Alisson. The 25-year-old keeper joined Roma in July 2016 from Internazionale, and after the departure of Szczęsny to Juventus, assumed the number 1 position. The 31-capped Brazilian more than repaid their faith, keeping 17 clean sheets or 0.4 per 90, and helping them to a Champions League semi-final. He saved a massive 79% of all shots he faced, 10% more than Karius and 20% more than Mignolet. He is also incredibly comfortable performing the sweeper-keeper role, coming off his line effectively 41 times last season, more than double anyone else in Italy. Accurate with 83% of his passes, not far off Ederson's 87%, and saving 3.4 shots per goal, nearly matching De Gea's freakish 3.5, it's clear that Liverpool have signed a keeper who will be more than a match for the best in England. Defender, Alvaro Odriozola. 22-year-old right-back Odriozola's form in 2016-17 for Real Sociedad was enough to displace Juanfran, Bellerin and Sergi Roberto in Julian Lopeteguy's World Cup squad. Although he didn't play a minute of Spain's campaign, the promise shown in La Real's season was enough to persuade Real Madrid to sign him for £35 million. With Nacho 28 and Carvajal 26, this signing is clearly for the long term, but Odriozola's statistics from 17-18 suggest he'll be more than able to hold his own. He made 41 appearances, the 4th most in the squad, helping Real Sociedad to a 6th place finish and the 2nd round of the Europa League. He was reliable on the ball, completing 88.5% of his passes, with only 8 defenders completing more, and proved adept at creating chances, laying on 1.3 key passes a game. Out of all the right-backs in Spain, only Malaga's Roberto Rosales and his new rival Carvajal created more. Match that form this year and the 4-time Champions League winner might have a battle for his place on his hands. Defender, Stefan de Vrij. Things got a little bit awkward with 26-year-old central defender Stefan de Vrij last May, when his club Lazio lost 3-2 to Inter Milan at home. This ensured they missed out on Champions League qualification to the Nerazzurri on head-to-head record. By that stage, the 36-capped Dutchman's free transfer to Inter had already been announced, so when de Vrij conceded a 78th minute penalty with his side 2-1 up, some people suggested that there was something fishy going on. Of course, that was complete and utter bollocks. De Vrij's superb performances last season were one of the key reasons why the Bianca Celesti were even in the reckoning. Not only did he fulfill his defensive duties, putting in a commendable 2.9 tackles and interceptions a game, and winning 70% of his aerial duels, putting Chiellini's 61% firmly in the shade, but he also scored 6 goals. This was not only the most of any defender in Italy, but also the 2nd most for his position in Europe, behind Schalke's Naldo with 7. With Inter Milan also signing Nainggolan and backup for Icardi in Martinez to complement the capture of de Vrij, they could well be challengers in 18-19. Defender, Clement Lenglet. With Umtiti and Piqué currently leading Barcelona's defence, the signing of Clement Lenglet, the 23-year-old from Sevilla, is definitely a move for the future. Arriving from Nantes in January 2017, Lenglet became a pivotal part of Sevilla's back line, appearing in 54 matches in all competitions. Barcelona met the defender's €35 million release clause to bring Lenglet into the new camp, after the former French under-21 international impressed during his first season in the Liga and the Champions League. Lenglet only missed 3 league games and was progressive on the ball with 80% of his passes going forward. But Barcelona like their defenders to not only be comfortable in possession, but able to bring the ball out. Lenglet completed 0.4 take-ons per 90 and was successful with 86% of these, an improvement on Piqué's 85 and Umtiti's 80. With Umtiti, Piqué, Lenglet and still capable of a Marlon in his roster, Valverde now has incredible options for the heart of his defence, which only conceded 8.9 shots per game last campaign, the best in Spain. Barcelona are clearly determined to keep hold of their new star, signing him to a 5-year deal with a huge €300 million release clause. Defender, Abdou Diallo. We've slightly cheated here, but Dortmund's £25.2 million signing centre-back Abdou Diallo is also comfortable playing at left-back. The fee for the 22-year-old, the second biggest in BVB's history behind Andre Schürrle, may seem overpriced, considering he has only made 86 career appearances, but his performances for Mainz in 17-18 demand respect. Signed from Monaco in July 2017 for €5 million after just 19 senior appearances, Diallo more than repaid their faith. Packing down alongside Stéphane Bell in the heart of their defence, the former French under-21 international made 27 Bundesliga appearances. He made a credible 1.9 interceptions a game, but an exceptional 2.8 tackles, the fifth best for any defender in the division. Surprisingly nimble for a 6'2" centre-back, Diallo was able to break the lines, completing one take-on per game with a 63% completion. For context, one of the league's best, Mats Hummels, completed 0.5 take-ons per 90 with a 55% completion rate. Having finished 29 points behind Bayern last campaign and having sold the experienced Socrates, Lucien Favre will be praying Diallo can hit the ground running. But what's for sure, with the likes of Akanji, Sancho, Weigl, Pulisic and Hakimi on their books, he has some of the most exciting young talent in Europe to choose from. Midfielder, Rodri.
Want more football news from here, there and everywhere around the globe? Why not click the I button up there right now and get over to Football Mundial, where Zach Jalab, aka Gammon Head, and Mr Bean, Michael McCubbin, talk a load of nonsense about football stories you probably haven't heard.
We had a number of candidates for this midfield slot, including Goretzka, Canellas and Korik, but elected for Atletico Madrid's new £18 million signing, Rodri. The arrival of the former Villarreal defensive midfielder went slightly under the radar amidst the fanfare of Thomas Lemar's £63 million move from Monaco. But the hope is that the 22-year-old will develop into the long-term replacement for their 35-year-old captain, Gabi. No player made more than Rodri's 47 appearances for the Yellow Submarine last season, as he helped the club to a 5th place finish. Although they finished 12 points off the Champions League spots, Fran Escriba's men claimed some major scalps, beating both Valencia and Real Madrid away. Rodri was a key component, keeping play ticking over with a 90% pass accuracy, second only to Asensio for players under 23. Whilst also making a massive 4.2 tackles and interceptions. Atleti's spine of Oblak, Godin, Jimenez, Rodri, Koke, Saul, Griezmann and Costa is now arguably one of the strongest in Spain, let alone the world. Expect big things from Diego Simeone's men this season. Midfielder, Jorginho. Up until just a few weeks ago, Jorginho to Man City looked nailed on, but Chelsea swooped in at the last minute to secure what could be the coup of the window. Jorginho has been at Napoli since January 2014 and has played in 83% of their league fixtures over the last 3 seasons, in which the Little Donkeys have finished second twice. His €57 million move reunites him with his old boss Maurizio Sarri. His stats certainly back up Chelsea director Marina Granovskia, who described him as one of the most coveted midfielders in Europe. The Brazilian-born Italian international averaged 106 passes per 90 last season, with an 89% pass accuracy, which puts Sergio Busquets' 76 passes per 90 into perspective. But the 8-capped international isn't afraid of hard work, putting in 3.8 tackles and interceptions per 90 in 17-18, more than double what Fernandinho managed in the Premier League. While Sarri is still yet to win a trophy, he will surely make Chelsea more attractive on the eye. And if Jorginho can release the shackles on Kante to show more of his exquisite World Cup form, Blues fans can be very excited for the upcoming season. Midfielder, Naby Keita. The transfer of Naby Keita to Liverpool from RB Leipzig, agreed in August 2017, could prove to be one of the most vital in the Premier League this season. A Reds fan growing up in Guinea, his £52 million move brings one of Europe's best box-to-box midfielders to Merseyside. Although not as exceptional as his 16-17 campaign, in which he was the engine behind Leipzig's second-place finish, his 17-18 season saw him contribute to 11 goals in 23 starts, whilst making 3.7 tackles and interceptions per 90. With the Ox sadly ruled out for the season, Klopp will be expecting big things from Keita. With Fabinho also arriving and the Fekir links rumbling on, the German now has the luxury of choosing from Keita, Fabinho, Henderson, Milner, Wijnaldum and Lallana for his 3 midfield spots. Described as the complete midfielder by Klopp, Keita is clearly not lacking in confidence, becoming the first player since Steven Gerrard to don the famous number 8. Forward, Kylian Mbappe. No, before you get all excited, Mbappe isn't moving anywhere unfortunately, but his permanent signing to PSG for a cool £165 million is certainly worth including. A 19-year-old forward, he has scored 60 goals in just 138 games for club and country, and has already won 2 league titles, 2 domestic cups, and of course, this summer's World Cup. He'll arrive back at PSG and there will be no adaptation period, having scored 21 goals in 44 appearances on the way to winning a domestic treble last campaign. He backed this up with a superb World Cup campaign, which included 4 goals in 7 games. His stats, though, were phenomenal. 4.6 dribbles per game and firing 7 of his 8 shots on target. A goal in the final ensured he became the first teenager since Pelé to score in a World Cup final. With no major departures and the arrivals of Buffon and Thomas Tuchel, the PSG hierarchy will finally be hoping they can make an assault on their first Champions League title, having never previously got past the quarter-final stage. Mbappe will no doubt be crucial. Forward, Cristiano Ronaldo. Without question, the biggest move of the window has been Cristiano Ronaldo's shock move to Juventus for €100 million. The 5-time Ballon d'Or winner has made it clear that he's ready for a new challenge, as he enters a new competitive league at 33 years old. This is an astronomical fee for someone who, in any other body, would be in the twilight of his career. Reports are claiming that brand Ronaldo has already brought in an insane €60 million worth of shirt sales. However, we all know that means nothing. He's leaving full in confidence, having scored 26 in 27 Liga games and 15 in 12 Champions League appearances, as Real became the first side to be crowned champions of Europe for 3 consecutive years. While Juve may be kings of Italy with 34 league titles to their name, they haven't tasted European success for 22 years, and they are hoping that the addition of Ronaldo will make the difference. Mr. Champions League himself will make history if he could win the competition with his 3rd club and replicate the feat managed by Clarence Seedorf. Forward, Karl Toko Ekambi. Rather than cover Mahrez' move to City or Lamar swapping Monaco for Madrid, we've instead chosen to shine a light on a less talked about move. That of 25-year-old Angers striker Karl Toko Ekambi to Villarreal for £18 million. Villarreal's main issue last season was a lack of goals, only netting 57 in 38 league games, the 8th best in the division and 2 fewer than 13th placed Celta Vigo. After their top scorer Bakambu, who scored 14 goals in 20 games, left for China in February, they were shorn of their main goal threat. Only Carlos Bacca with 15 got into double figures. The club acted swiftly to sign Ekambi, who netted 17 goals in 39 games in a struggling Angers team. Last season, only Cavani, Thauvin, Neymar, Depay and Fekir were involved in more than his 23 Ligue 1 goals last season. Villarreal had on average 12.5 shots per game in 17-18, the 6th best in the league, but Ekambi is adept at working with scraps, only getting off 3.1 shots per 90, but getting 61% on target, the same as Edison Cavani. Villarreal seem to have an absolute gem on their hands.
Congratulations, you've reached the end of the video. Your award, the face of the poshest man in Football Daily. For more great content, why don't you click in this box here, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.